Guys, welcome to the Mary Boozer's RC channel. Today we have an RC 101 for you. This is our top 10 items that you need to get started in your RC modeling career.
Wesley, how long have we talked about doing this?
We've been talking about doing this video for a while.
We've actually been doing this for 3 years now, our channel, and we've actually, I know for 2 years, been talking about this, but I really believe it's time for us to put this forward. We've shown what we can do in the world of RC, so I really feel like maybe possibly we are a channel that can give a new person good advice on what to have when they first come into this sport.
Right. We are excluding a normal transmitter. You're going to need an airplane of your choice. We will be doing reviews on a lot of our favorite beginner-friendly airplanes over the next few weeks. Keep looking back here on the channel.
So this assumes, this video that we're doing now on the top 10 assumes
you've already got your airplane.
Chosen the airplane, the radio, and battery.
Right, right.
So this would be the next top 10 things that you would need. Accessories that would help you to make your experience a little bit easier.
So with that being said, all of these items that we're going to talk about today will be linked down in the description of this video. We are affiliates with a lot of different companies, so if you click on those links, we do make a little commission whenever you get it. It tells the companies that we sent you. So let's get into it, and we'll be back down on the bench with our first item that we want to talk to y'all about.
Yep. All right, Wesley, number one, and we're going to rank these as importance.
Right. So number one is AMA, guys. We really do believe in the AMA. We've been members of it my entire life. He joined it back, I believe, in the 80s, so he's been an early adopter of the AMA.
Well, and when I joined or started flying model aircraft, they were not tiny, they were not foam. So you had to join a club to be in a safe atmosphere to fly any of these things, and each one of those clubs were an affiliate of the AMA, which, if anybody doesn't know what AMA is, it is the governing body of the model aircraft industry or sport. So with that said, there's many perks to being an AMA member. But the first thing is safety. The big thing the AMA is to set all the safety and everything that does go along with
rules.
The rules.
They
the
also
rules
do
you have to follow. Yeah, insurance, and the insurance comes along with the membership, and you will be provided a card, an AMA card, which you must be to provide at any time that you go to an AMA functioned event. You will have to show that card, and but there's all other kind of perks, like you do get a magazine. If there is certain levels that you can join, my recommendation is to go with the full-blown with the magazine.
Let's talk about that for just a second. So there's two levels when you're joining the AMA. There's Park Flyer, and then there's the full AMA membership. Park Flyers are really only for if you're flying small UMX, sub 250 gram airplanes.
I mean, these are peanuts.
Right,
I mean,
small things. Now, what we're talking about is you're really trying to get into this hobby with some larger airplanes. You need to do this. And you need to get the full AMA
decent
membership.
Trainer does not qualify as a park flyer.
Right.
Let's get that. If you buy any decent sized trainer, it is not a park flyer.
Right. Now, the links for all this is going to be down in the description. If you want to check out the AMA, we definitely recommend it. But you need to at least get this. It's got an insurance program, so if you hit somebody and hurt somebody with your airplane, this is a way to cover it. We really, really strongly believe in joining your local club and flying with friends. That's kind of our model here on the channel. So that's enough about the AMA, but that is our very first thing you need to do. Now, to go along with the AMA, you also need, we have our little card here, but I'm going to have this link down in the description. This is, you pay $5 to the FAA to get your registration number for the FAA. This is kind of a newer rule, but it is the law. Pay your $5, get your number, write it on your airplane, go fly and have a good time. You also need to take the trust test. It's free. You don't put any information in. All you do is do the test. At the end, you print out your certificate that says you did it, and you keep that certificate with you. It's not big. It's not a big deal, guys. But you need to have this stuff with you when you're flying to be compliant, to be safe, and to not get in trouble.
There is a chance that
the
a governing body can come to one of these events and ask you for all of this, and if you do not have one, you will be fined.
It is a $25,000 fine. So, you know, we're not trying to make you scared of that. Just do your stuff. It's not hard, but that is the #1 thing we start this off with. So, let's move into some more fun stuff now, but we wanted to talk about this because we really believe in the AMA.
We really do.
So, on to item 2.
All right, so we're here with number 2. Now, it's kind of hard to say what's most important, but I've always had a flight box. The flight box is your organizer. It's the item that you carry to the field to make sure you have everything with you, because it's very frustrating to get to the field and say, uh-oh,
I don't have a screwdriver.
And I have to drive all the way back home, which is 30 miles for something. So that's why I say the flight box is number 2. It gets you organized, so when you get to the field, you possibly will have things that you need and things that you didn't forget. So good example, I carry my radio on the flight box.
Batteries.
The batteries are in the flight box.
He keeps a charger on his flight box.
I keep a charger. I keep miscellaneous tools that I might need. I keep rags that I might need. And I also have my AMA card and my card to the local flying field. All the stuff that and the FAA Registration is all here, so I don't have to go, oh, where is it at? If they're going to be asking for it, I'm going to be at the field and I'm going to be flying an airplane, right? So anyway,
link for one of these is going to be down in the description. You do not have to get the one we put in the description. There's many different versions of this, but we want to have one for you.
Here's another thing I got. How many times have we went to the field and for some reason we lost bind with the airplane? And that's something that you will experience. For some reason, you will lose bind.
So in the flight box,
guess what I got?
Bind plugs on the flight box, then they're always with you at the field. It's easy, guys. So flight box number 2. Let's go on to the next one.
Go to the next one. Okay, this is hard for the boozers because 1 through 10 is really hard, but this is number 3.
Yeah, we can't count to 10.
It's kind of hard, but this we call number 3. No, it's not the B1200.
No.
It is the Ultra Stand
by Ernst manufacturer.
And I've had this type of stand. This stand has been manufactured since I've been in the sport, since 1980s. And every time I think I find a different stand I like, guess what?
We come back.
I always go back to this one.
Although they did come out with a new one this year that we do like so far. This is the Ernst Mega Stand.
And it's for your larger models.
Right.
Now, if you're talking about any kind of medium-sized models, you don't need that. That thing over there is for the larger stuff. Now you say, why do I need a stand? Well, guys, when you're working on these things, you're either going to be up here, you'll be, if you go to some of those larger models, they'll be open at the bottom. You might want to be working on the tail. I mean, you're always trying to get somewhere that you're needing to work. And it's a lot easier to have this thing in this stand instead of on this table to be able to work on it. So that's the importance of having a stand. Another thing about a stand is if you got it in there, you're not denting your model. You're not tearing, especially foamies.
Or a guy that takes his wing on and off every time he goes to the field, like with this B1200. It's a lot easier to put the wing back on when this thing's in the stand and it's holding it for you.
Guess what? Another thing is, how many times do you think I took my model to the field
And left it in the stand.
like that? You
There
can
you
have
go.
this model and shove it in your car, and it doesn't move anywhere.
Right.
Now it looks a little funny, but I guarantee you'll use this model to move this stand to move your model around.
I will agree. This is one of those things that you've got to have one of these as a modeler. Got to. So anyway,
why it's
number three, the Ernst stands. These are the best stands on the market.
Agree.
On to the next one. All right, guys. So our fourth item on the list is a good quality charger. Now, we have two different versions out here in front of us. Neither one of them are the ultimate thing that you have to have, but they're the two that we personally use the most and that I really do feel are the chargers of choice. Now, we here at the Boozers fly smart packs.
We agree with you. Got a charger with your
most guys got
plane.
a charger with their plane, but we really think you should invest in a good quality charger.
It's not going to be what you need for the future. So
Right.
this is for after you got that trainer and you're familiar with it and
You
go,
like flying?
I think I need to have something different. Well, here's possibly what we recommend.
If you're coming from one of the planes that we're going to be talking about over the coming weeks in our beginner series, most of these airplanes come with the S120 charger from Horizon. You can always upgrade to the S150. This is a great little charger, but it only does up to 4S. So
And we do have videos out on that.
this
If
charger.
you want to look at that charger and see what it does, there is a dedicated video.
This
on
is
the
this is
channel.
a good upgrade charger for a guy that's only going to stay in the 4S territory. But if you eventually wanted to get into jets or larger warbirds or anything like that, you're going to need to look at one of these two options here that I'm going to talk about. So
And this is with the E-flite Smart technology. This is
this is and this is, but we're going to give you the option of if you're not doing
But just so you understand what these are, this is the E-flite where it takes the smart technology to
it. You don't have to. This charger
use
can
that?
do it with a
Okay.
regular battery.
All right.
So, and that's part of it, guys, is learning what you can and can't do. So, the S150, the S1100, both of these smart chargers will charge any battery out there.
What we call dumb batteries.
Right. But if you are going to do, Velcro works, smart batteries, this is plug it in, hit go, and forget about it. It's the easiest thing you're ever going to do. And that's part of that smart technology. You don't go fly it for a couple days. The battery discharges itself. This is also more expensive though, so some guys' budgets aren't going to allow it. If it does, we really love these here at the channel. We use them all the time. But another option, we have had these from the beginning. The Venom Pro Do, they call it the Do, charger. They also make this in a quad. So this will charge 2 batteries at one time. They also have a version of it that does 4 batteries at one time. We'll have all of these chargers linked down in the description. If you're not doing smart, this is a great charger. The only difference is you're going to have to set it up per battery every time. You're going to have to make sure you don't charge your batteries incorrectly. That can cause a LiPo fire, guys, so be careful. Make sure you're setting your batteries correctly from the start. That's why they came out with this smart stuff. You don't have to worry about that. You plug it in, it won't let you charge it wrong. I really am a believer in smart technology. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but I feel like you get what you pay for. Horizon's been really good on supporting guys that have had these battery systems. If there've been any issues, they've been taking care of them. I've heard really nothing but good stuff.
And the smart technologies don't just go with the batteries, it goes over into
the
electronics.
airplanes too.
So
Because
there's a lot of advantages, not only just batteries, but other things that to come.
right.
So
If you're going to be flying in the Horizon product line and you're going to have a DX, an NX, an IX radio over the future, the smart stuff really makes a lot of sense also because you get all your onboard telemetry. You get your, voltage readout, temperatures.
Papa's recommendation is go ahead and bite the bullet.
If you're starting right now
and
and you don't have anything,
here.
there's no reason not to go this way.
Yes.
But we want to give you both options just in case you have it. These are my two recommended chargers, the S1100 or the Pro Duo charger. For this price range, we're saying that you're just getting into this. They do make a two-port version of this. It's an S2200 if you want the two-port version. But anyway, that's it with the charger, guys. I really recommend you go on and spend the extra little bit of coin to upgrade to a good charger, especially if you're running an S120. You can charge so much faster with these S1100 or the S150, yes. Either one of them. They'll charge your batteries a whole lot faster. So anyway, let's go on to number 5.
That's one of those pay me now, pay me later things.
Yeah. So
or maybe that might be kind of antiquating me, but pay me now or pay me later.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway, on to number 5.
Number 5. Okay, number 5. Which we're going to combine two to one thing in this. So what are they?
A servo checker and a battery cell checker. So we recently have been using the heck out of this little item. This is the Spectrum Smart XBC 100 Smart Checker. So the cool thing with this is you can do a couple different options. You can balance out a battery with it to make all the cells the same. You can check a servo, as you can see here. You just tap it. You can see that it's checking this servo for me. It's moving it all three directions.
Now, for us of the unknown, why would you want to check a servo?
So when you're putting an airplane together, you want to make sure that the control surface is in the neutral position when you're putting that airplane together. So with the servo checker, you can put it at 0 without having this plugged into a receiver or having to power anything in the airplane. And you can make your control horn in the neutral position. Now currently this one is not in the right position, but just to show you that it works, you know, we were showing you that.
But first, there has been things called bad servos.
Yep.
And or you take all that time to mount that baby in the airplane, and guess what?
It don't even work.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is exactly what he's explaining to you, that you need your servo in the neutral position.
Right. So it's neat because this is an all-in-one unit that's not very expensive, and you can use this all the time. This is a great little tool. Like I said, here it is in the servo checking mode.
That will be in your flight box.
Let me walk this up there real quick.
Now this is one of the things will be in your flight box because you will be using it at the field.
Right. Let's see. Focus.
Probably not to check your servos, but for the next thing we're going to mention to you.
Servo checking. As you can see, this is moving the servo without having it plugged into an airplane. And I'm trying to be in focus for you guys, but a little impromptu. So anyway, that shows that part of this.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is the cell voltage.
Cell voltage, yes.
Why would you want to know about the cell voltage?
So, let's unplug.
And go.
So, we just get done flying. And we don't have a smart telemetry receiver.
Right.
But we want to check our battery. Mm-hmm. Now, this checker can work with smart batteries or not smart batteries. Right. It gives you both options. This is why I keep recommending this item. It's not just because it's Spectrum and we love Spectrum. It's because this really is great. Even if you fly Futaba, whoever, this is a great tool.
This takes, in the old days, you would have 2 things.
Right, and now it's all in one.
Now it's all in one thing.
So, let's say you have a regular non-smart battery. You've got the port here on the side that you can plug the balance lead in. And this will turn on and tell you the individual voltage for each cell in this battery. So right now, this is at 379 per cell per voltage, per cell in this pack. Storage charge for a LiPo battery is 3.8 cell. So we know that this battery is perfectly safe. We can put this in the bin, forget about it for a year, come back and fly it, and it's going to be fine. You never want to leave one fully charged. That's why these smart batteries are really cool, because they don't ever let you leave it this. Well, you can set it to, but normally these will discharge after 72 hours. Now, if you're running a smart battery, you don't have to use the balance. You just take your EC3 connector, plug it in. It does the exact same thing. Still works. Tells you everything. So it's really a nice thing to have. Let's say you get out to the field and you've got 5 or 6 batteries. You fly one. You accidentally put it down in the middle of all 5 of your batteries. Oh crap, which one's charged?
Yeah.
Real quick, you can plug them all into this thing and go, okay, there's my dead one, and separate it from the pile. You know, that sounds like something that would never happen. Happens all the time. So, you know, and this little item will keep that from being a problem.
And it's silly to crash your airplane with a uncharged battery.
When it's that easy to find out if you have it.
So why do you have to have one of these? We just answered the question.
There are some other features of this, but that's kind of the main reasons. Anyway, that concludes this item, but
important item.
This is definitely something I highly recommend. New or old RC pilot, get you one of these. These are awesome little things.
So on to number 6.
All right, guys. So we have our number 6 item on the list. A good set of screwdrivers, but not just any set of screwdrivers. This is one we personally use quite a bit. This is the E-flite screwdriver set. The nice thing with this is we do a lot, accessory screwdriver kit is what they call it, but we do a ton of the E-flite airplanes here. But not only does this fit E-flite planes, it fits a lot of other manufacturers' ones. So if you ever go to start looking for these, this comes with a number 2, or 2 millimeter I should say, Allen key screwdriver. You will use this a lot in your RC career. So the screwdrivers and nut drivers in this kit are specifically thought of for electric foamy airplanes, which is what we fly.
They also go over to the gas stuff too.
They do, but
I mean the servo screws, all that stuff that you're going to be attaching or detaching when you work on these things.
But the cool thing is,
will be these tools.
If you're flying E-flite airplanes or foamies, this set right here is going to cover 99.9% of the stuff that you've got to take on and off your airplane.
So if you've ever looked behind us and all the screwdrivers and tools we have,
we use these more than anything since I got them.
So yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to say this is everything you're going to need, because I'd lie to you.
But this is definitely
a must-have.
I agree. This is a must-have item. We really do like
and
these.
what does it include?
So you get the number, the 2 millimeter hex, not hex, but Allen key. You get a 2.5 Allen key. You get a 1.5 Allen key.
And then the 2.
And then you're going to have 2 Phillips. So you get a number 0 Phillips. We've about worn this one off or spray painted it somewhere along the way. They have been worked. 00 Phillips.
And last but not least,
a 2 millimeter flat. So anyway, we really do like this kit. I know that we're kind of being
I don't leave them in the bag. I have them really handy, available.
They're normally on the wall.
Normally when I'm working on something, it's on this surface here, and they're all
over
like
the place, and they're everywhere. But the nice thing is this set kind of covers most of what you're going to need screwdriver wise. So anyway, guys, we'll move on to number 7.
A muster.
That's a good one. Link down in the description. So on to the next one. Number 7, guys, we are looking at tools and accessories that will make your life a lot easier as you're starting to repair your airplanes.
Miscellaneous tools, and you never have the right one. No matter what you do, you will collect these things forever, but it will get easier with time.
Now, and with your beginning into the flying career, you are going to have accidents, and you're going to have to make repairs to your model. You just are going to have to. These models need constant looking at and repairing your flying airplanes. Just like a real airplane, they do a test inspection before they fly them. You need to be looking at your airplane. There might be something loose or something you need to repair. So, let's go over some of the items that we use a lot here at the channel that might be additional items you might want to look at getting over time. Let's start with the one in my hand here. This is a great little tool. All this is, you can make this out of anything. This comes with some models from Freewing.
Don't throw them away.
Don't throw them away. But if you don't have one from Freewing, you can make one. It's just a piece of wire with a little loop bit in the end of it. And what this is used for is if you've got to get a servo wire from the back of an airplane all the way up to the front where your receiver is, it's a go get 'em wire. So you loop your receiver, your servo end, push this through the fuselage of the airplane
or pull it
to wherever you need to pull that wire from. Hook your wire on, and then you can pull this back up to the front of the airplane. This comes in very handy a lot, so we keep these.
Servos, if you get a larger aircraft, the servo, the aileron servo on the wing,
right.
Pull it through the wing.
If you ever get into building ARFs, balsa airplanes, the servo out on the wing,
the servo
string
lead is not long enough.
Right, and you need to get that out to the wing, you can get that out there and pull that wire back in. So this is a very handy tool.
Good thing. Okay, so let's go over here to the scalpels.
Or forceps.
Forceps, not scalpels, forceps. Great thing here, guys, they hold, when you smash them together, they hold things, and you will never ever understand how many times that you have to hold things and not have to hold it.
Right, so these things you can clip onto something, you know, and they'll stay on it.
But yeah, good set of those.
You can reach down into a model and get something that's in the bottom and you can't reach it. Right. I don't really have a way to link these in the description, guys, but if you go on Amazon, you can type in forceps. There's 10 billion different versions of that.
Since we're talking about dropping something in the model, a good magnet that extends is well worth its weight in gold.
I mean, that way you can reach down in that model and find exactly where it is, and there's that piece that I dropped.
It's really frustrating to drop one of those little screws in there and have to turn it over and shake it, and then it falls out on the floor and you can't find a blasted thing. Right. But anyway, another good.
You know, I might give them an honorable mention talking about dropping stuff on the floor. Here in a second. You keep going. Let me go grab another little item. Honorable mention. It's not one of our top 10 things, but something you might want. I'm going to go grab it while he's talking about the next item.
This is not a complete set of nut drivers. I just laid them out. Here is a good set of nut drivers, both metric and standard. Another thing about, we say crescent wrenches, but you can't. That's one size, but you can't. There's always another size that you can always have a smaller size of those.
And I'm sure you can go on Amazon and find a set of like a little 3-pack of these little ones. The little ones are really handy though for most of our modeling. These little tiny ones, you'll use them all the time.
A good pair of scissors.
And these, you can get them on Amazon, you can get them at Home Depot. These are the Milwaukee scissors, and I have bought a bunch of these because...
Do not use your wife's scissors unless you want to get a divorce.
Unless you want to get killed, that's right. But I'm just telling you, these Milwaukee scissors, I've got about 4 different pairs. We've got one that's in the kitchen that's only for the kitchen. I've got one in the hobby room. These are darn good little pairs of scissors. So this is actually a Milwaukee pair, like the Milwaukee Power Tools.
And we got to mention there's Allen screws everywhere.
Allen screws.
So just might as well buy you a set of both the English and the metric.
Get you a set of metric and standard SAE.
I would recommend that. Anything that punches holes or pulls or anything, you're going to be marking holes all the time. As, you know, where do I drill this or whatever. So a good set of inexpensive.
These came from Harbor Freight, guys. The little awl set, great little piece.
Pliers. Another thing is it's kind of like the wrenches. They have larger ones and they have smaller ones. So you can't get these into somewhere.
Good little set of pliers, man. Throw these in your flight box if you got that from our original set. Always keep a little set of pliers in your.
Those actually come out of my flight box.
Right. I mean. They're very handy, guys. Oh crud, my nut's not tight wherever, and I don't have a crescent wrench right now. I always
And
keep
you'll
these
get to
there.
where you'll buy one for your flight box and one for your
workbench. That's
So
right.
You can't have enough of them.
Yep.
These clamps, you're always having to glue something and it has to hold it. It's better to clamp this on there, especially if you're using glues that take longer times to set. So I recommend for you to get some of those. They're kind of inexpensive.
Now these, I've got several different versions of these. These are, we call them sprue nippers a lot if you're building plastic models, but it's a very good, fine, sharp set of cutters. You know, they're a dike is what they're called, but this is a very sharp pointed good set of these that Milwaukee makes. This one, I really like Milwaukee's hand tool line. They make some really good stuff lately that's kind of inexpensive, but a good set of nippers to where you can reach in and cut a piece of plastic or whatever else in there, and these are nice and sharp and they don't get dull, and we've been using these for a while, and a good set of nippers is a good thing to have. And right along with the nippers,
needle nose pliers.
Needle nose pliers. You're going to use needle nose pliers all the time. Doesn't matter what brand you get, I'm not telling you that, but get you a good set, whatever's going to be comfortable in your hand, of needle nose pliers. These are Klein's. I sold Klein for many years. They have great tools. The trick is finding you a set that's nice and loose like that.
And RCers are always looking for that next tool to help them do that project. So this is not the end, guys. This is just a kind of a recommendation.
These are just kind of our basic bench tools. Now this is another really neat tool. It kind of goes along with what we just talked about with that screwdriver set. This is another screwdriver that's really handy to throw in your flight box. This is a 6-in-1 screwdriver, so you get a nut driver on this end, you get a Phillips and a flathead, and then you can pull it out, flip it around, and you have a smaller Phillips and a smaller flathead.
And that's made by Klein.
And a nut driver. Yeah, this is a Klein tool. If you're looking for these, Klein makes these. Most of your
I think they're in their instrumentation type tools for instrument people. But
Klein is sold by, I believe, Home Depot now, but you know, being that I came from the electrical industry, these are what electricians live and die by. They love Klein tools. If you get something made by Klein, it's a little more expensive, but you're getting a good quality tool that's going to last you a long time. Really enjoy this stuff. Anyway, that screwdriver is called a 6-in-1 though, and it's very convenient because you have all of them in one tool.
And the last but not least is
this is an honorable mention item. So how many times, and guys that are watching this that have built airplanes are going to like this, a magnet on wheels. This is so if you drop one of these little tiny screws while you're working on something in your workshop and it goes dong 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 and bounces across the floor, you go, ah crap, where did that go? Well, with this, you just run this around in the shop and you
listen for the click.
You hear click. Oh, there it is. I got it back.
That beats on your hands and knees for 30 minutes.
Otherwise,
all the extra words that you're saying.
There's nothing worse than you getting a brand new model and you're putting it together and you lose one screw and you can't finish putting the model together.
And you don't have any extra screw.
And you can't find that extra screw. But yeah, you just run this thing around on the floor until you hear click and there's your screw back. But these things are pretty inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon. You don't need the biggest one in the world. You just need a little one. This one's a magnetic mini sweeper by Magnet Source. Anyway, I don't know if you can get these on Amazon or not, but this one is model number REV1902. It was under $50 for this little thing.
So if you kids asked you, Daddy, what can I get you for Christmas? Send them to the tool store and ask them for neat, small stuff like this, and they can help you out a lot.
That's a good point. These are great stocking stuff for Christmas presents for your RC modeling enthusiasts. So, on to the next item. We're on to number 8.
Number 8.
All right, guys. So, number 8, glues. There's all kinds of glues.
Look at the plethora of...
This is... We collect
cornucopia.
We've collected 1 or 2 glues over the years.
Glues are like tools. You don't ever have the right one.
It will. There's always a different glue that'll work better for a different job.
Yeah.
So we want to go over just a few of the basic ones that we use a lot. I know this is a ton out here. This is how we keep them too. So very basic. This is a very, very basic way to fix things. It's not always going to make it the prettiest, but if you just want to glue back a damaged foam airplane and get back to flying, a hot glue gun will get it done.
It's ugly.
It's ugly. It'll bubble the heck out of it, but it will make the airplane fixed.
But, you know, simple is simple.
Simple as simple. So hot glue gun.
But it is not the perfect way to make it look like you didn't crash.
This is not the best way to do it, but it will work.
Yeah.
So I would say my favorite glue for a foam airplane would be
foam tack.
Foam tack.
That's right.
So this is Beaconite foam tack. You can find it from a lot of different manufacturers. I think that you can get this from one of our sponsors. I've looked and I'll try and link this in the bottom. If not, it's called Beaconite foam tack. It's sold at a lot of different hobby stores. It's a great stuff. The other thing, almost every RC airplane you buy is going to come with a tube of this white tube glue. Never throw this away.
Never throw it away.
This is great stuff. It is basically
foam
this
tack.
stuff.
Yeah, it's
but for free with your airplane. So never throw this away. It smells awful. It's actually called contact cement, but works fantastic for fixing models or gluing on foam part to foam part.
Well,
that's a great
just like
stuff.
this quick grip is the same as that stuff, but it's not. It's all foam tack. It's just another brand. But anyway,
some type of a contact cement like this. We like the Beaconite foam tack because it is foam safe. It's not going to tear up your model. If you have a clean break on your model, you fill it in with this stuff, put it back in there, and you can't hardly even tell it was broke off.
But it takes a little time to set.
Right.
And another secret to that is that you put it in there and take it apart. Put it back together. Take it apart.
And a little good stringy stuff comes apart.
And then you leave it together.
Right.
Was the secret to that stuff.
Right. CA glue. There is a plethora of different types of CA glues. You've got your thins. You've got your mediums. This is a plastic. I can't even remember.
Well, there's
a foam safe.
Foam safe CA.
So the newest one, this is the latest, greatest version of CA right here from Zap. Zap is a good partner of ours. We've worked with them in the past on some of our fly-ins and things. This is their latest and greatest one. This is called Zap O Foam Safe CA that is shock proof. We've been trying it lately. You don't need accelerator on it. It's odorless, resistant to temperature change. You can still use kicker on this, and kicker is on a CA. You have a kicker and you have a CA. You can put this on the item, put it together and hold it, and it takes a little bit to go off. If you squirt it with kicker,
it sets off.
It's gone. It's glued right then.
And I will say, out of all the glues that I've used over the years, CA is probably my favorite on wood aircraft, and it is my favorite. It's got its places for everything, but the CA on wood soaks into the wood, and wherever you have that glue, it's never going to break again. Right. It'll break somewhere else. Other than
on a foamy, the weird thing is the plane itself gives a little bit, and that's where I find that the foam tack gives a little bit and it moves with it, whereas CA is a very rigid bond.
Right.
You want that on a surface that doesn't have any flex.
Right. And that's why foam airplanes are tougher than balsa airplanes.
Right. They give a little bit.
They give a little bit when they hit, and that's the secret to foam.
But there are 10,000 different versions of CA. Though, is what I'm trying to say. Thick.
Right.
Thin. Medium. Extra thin.
I mean, just keep going.
Foam safe. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of different options when you come to CA.
Let's cut it down to what I actually like the medium. Just all around for everything.
Which, if you're looking at the Zaps, that's the green bottles.
Medium is your overall. If you want to just buy one size CA, and you're only doing foam airplanes, make sure you buy the
Foam safe, medium
CA. If you want us to tell you what to buy.
Gorilla Glue is CA also, just so you guys know. It's all Gorilla Glue.
Well, it's kind of like foam tack.
Well, it depends on which one you get.
Yeah, well, that's true.
The regular old Gorilla Glue was CA, basically. They have a thin Gorilla
that
Glue.
Quick stuff that is CA.
But it's good stuff too. We like Gorilla Glue.
Now the other, here we go. My choice of really strong glue.
If you want to glue something together and it never, ever come apart
epoxy has been in the world since the beginning of time, putting model aircraft together. Before CA, before any of that, epoxy was there. Now, epoxy is one of those things that you have to plan on using. You have to fit before you glue. And then it has to set for, well, it says 5 minutes and then 30-minute epoxy.
Yeah, you can buy your epoxy in the time frame you want to work in. So just.
But you know, it takes a little longer. But after 30 minutes, you're not going to take it apart. What it's saying after that, it takes longer to set than that. But after 30 minutes, you're pretty well going to have a mess if you try. You can't take it back apart.
Right.
But it hadn't cured all the way. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, and the last and not least is the canopy glue that dries clear. That you're going to, a lot of the canopies on your aircraft, they recommend to do with a glue.
When you want to put something on your model, like a canopy or a wheel fairing or something that you want to glue, but you want the glue to dry clear where you don't see it. That is when you're going to use the canopy.
It looks like Elmer's glue.
Yep. And it takes forever to get hard. So whatever you do, glue it on there, tape it there where it'll stay there for a day or two. But it works good in certain situations.
And this is not really a glue, but we're going to mention it anyway, is the blue
Loctite.
Loctite.
Never use red Loctite on your RC models.
You want to get
red, you're dead. Blue, you can get it back apart.
Okay, so why are you, anywhere that you have a bolt or a screw that you don't want to vibrate out, use a small amount of this and you won't have to worry about it.
My E-flite FW190, for example, the spinner keeps getting loose. The nut there, the screw that goes into the end of it keeps backing out just a little bit and then it starts rattling. Put a drop of Loctite on that screw it into that metal receiving point, and there you go. Never use Loctite on a plastic fitting. It eats it. Never, ever use Loctite on plastic.
So,
steel to steel, steel to brass, whatever. Metal to metal.
So we're going to say the foam tack.
Foam tack is your number one, man.
And
Get you some of that.
Your green Zap medium.
Or possibly even the medium purple. This is their new one just for foam.
And your 30-minute epoxy.
Yeah. I don't get 5 for your first one, get 30 minutes.
Would be and then the next one I would recommend highly would be your canopy glue. It says it's called Formula 560 and it's called canopy glue.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what do I buy at first, there they are.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, on to number 9, and we will see you in a second. All right, number 9.
And it seems like this would be not very essential, but
it is.
It is. For an unorganized guy, organization is a good thing. But I am very organized, but at the same time, I like to be organized. More organized. Let's put it that way.
So
and I don't know of any other thing that when you're trying to put something together, to organize.
Right.
So that's what this is all about.
parts bins, parts organizers, and some of the ones we use. These are made by the same company that makes
The Ernst
the stands that we showed you earlier.
stand,
Yeah.
which was number 3, if I remember right.
So Ernst Manufacturing.
These two.
These are stackable. You can link them up together. They come in different colors, different shapes and sizes. Great little parts bins.
Yeah, I know these guys are watching this going, I don't need that.
Right.
Well, let me say, the first thing, even on a foam airplane, as simple as it is put together, my suggestion, and I think it would be your suggestion, is when you take it out of the box and you start putting all those little screws, guess what you do with them?
You drop them, you lose them, unless you got one of these and you just
Because you're
drop
going to be
them all
on a
in
table
here.
like this, and you look how, another thing is, it's colored like this to be able to see them. Okay? So here's one that I'm already in use on. You can
Okay.
see these little screws are in here, and I can see them, but they're not going anywhere. I mean, I've dropped this.
This was literally sitting on the table over there,
this
guys,
was where I've been working.
he's
on.
working on an airplane right now, and he took all the pieces off, threw them in here, so he knows here's where I am on that project. I can go back, pick
Now,
it up, and all the parts are there.
Another thing, mechanics have these things. Well, guess what?
These aren't available from any of the
Bingo.
hobby manufacturers that I know
They're
of,
magnetic.
but Amazon. Little magnetic trays. These are Pittsburgh brand. They're from Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight.
But if you don't have a Harbor Freight near you, Amazon sells these. But if you, you're taking apart a plane. Oops,
That didn't work.
that's an aluminum one. Another one.
That one is too.
I grabbed
You're not
everything.
making a very good video here.
Let me grab something that's
You
not
want to try
aluminum.
again? Yeah, okay. Yeah, these guys are good.
These guys are good. There.
There
Hey. If you get an aluminum part, it doesn't work.
Now, last but not least, is the one over there on your right or to my left. Guys, if you do this long enough, you will start to gather parts.
Extra
You
screws.
you will either have an airplane that comes with extra screws. You will have crashed airplanes that you're going to take screws out of.
Hence, these
You're
are
going
like,
to
these are from the turbo timber. We
I don't
lost
throw
turbo
away. I
timber.
don't throw away anything, guys.
Mhm.
Very, very little stuff that I have, I throw away.
All the little clevises. If you get an extra one, keep them.
Servo ends, servo horns, screws for servos. I don't throw. You're going to need it and it's very, very frustrating to need something and not be able to repair your plane. So over a period of time, keep everything that you can.
Okay.
Now, if this is not all of my parts,
No.
you don't understand.
He's got lots of these.
I got bins and bins of this stuff. This is just my one that I grab when I'm working on an airplane and I need a screw.
He's got a lot of the
I got little screws over here.
yeah.
I got bolts. I got
Weights.
just the everyday stuff that I'm looking for is in that thing. Then if it's not in there, I go looking other places.
Right.
And
We've
I
got
know where they are at.
bins everywhere.
So the thing is to be organized to where you can go get it. Because to me, it's very frustrating to know you have it, but you don't know where it's at. So organization. But great idea here. I believe it's worth your time and money to do this, even for the beginner.
So on to the final item. Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10, guys. Wrapping it up, sticking it all together at the end. Tape.
The only thing we don't have on here that we should, we don't, duct tape.
Duct tape, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I don't use a lot of
I
duct
don't
tape
use
though
it,
for
but I mean,
airplanes.
it's
but
kind of like everybody
I will
says.
say, this is basically the duct tape RC airplanes for me. Clear packing tape,
Yep.
a good one. Man, you can't beat it. If you put a dink in your wing or whatever, especially back in the balsa days, you could patch it real quick with a piece
Even
of
the
packing tape.
monocoat,
Yep.
you put the clear over it
Little
and
piece
keep
of clear
flying.
packing tape,
You
yep.
know, until you cut it out and put another piece of monocoat
Yeah.
on there, you had clear tape over it.
This Gorilla stuff is great. It's strong. It doesn't let go. But be careful with it, because if you put it on a foam airplane and then peel it off, you peel all the paint off with it. And that's
it's
where that one comes
Right.
in. So we have a lot of different tapes out here just to kind of show you. I know it's crazy for us to show you all this. The regular old office Scotch tape.
Well, you know, that one's actually special one, and I want to talk to
wall safe.
That is wall safe. And what I found out on that wall safe Scotch tape is that you can tape off somewhere and it will not peel up the foam, and you can paint with it. But it will not stick to the foam, and it's not like regular Scotch tape. So if you want to, I've used a lot of that to mask off stuff that I want to spray around, but on the foamies. So there's a good suggestion.
So let's talk about painter's tape too. This will peel the paint off. There are some tricks around it. Take your painter's tape that you're getting ready to put on your airplane, stick it to your shirt a few times. This will take some of the tack out of that tape before you actually tape off on your model to paint, and it'll help when you pull it off to not peel your paint off. So those are both for painting. Now let's tell them a little bit about this stuff right here.
Double-sided.
This is 3M. It's very special to say that. 3M branded double-sided sticky tape. If you want something to be affixed to something else and it never come off, this stuff right here for a gyro receiver or just something you never want to fall off ever in flight, this is the tape to use. It's red. It's called 3M. They use this stuff to put car parts on to cars. That's how strong this is, and it will not come off due to heat or nothing else. You have to
make sure you buy the 3M.
The 3M one is the good stuff.
And this is just a thinner
version of
that one. But you can't go wrong with that. And you know, the last thing we didn't actually, it's not a tape, but we need to mention it, is the Velcro.
Velcro, yeah.
We need to put Velcro in here. Guys, you're going to find that a lot of times they recommend that you Velcro your batteries in.
Honorable mention towards tape.
Honorable mention to tape, but let's put Velcro in there that might be you know, you go to your local hardware store and they all have the Velcro with the
sticky on one side and Velcro on the other.
Go buy you some little Velcro. It will help you with time. You'll see that. But yeah, tapes are like glues.
There's 10,000 versions.
Everything out there.
These are the ones we like, but they're not the end all be alls. There's always something else.
I've showed where I'm building a balsa wing, and I've glued the two wing halves together with 30-minute epoxy, and I used the blue tape to actually pull the wings tight. You would never think that, but that's another use for this tape, other than everybody thinks tape is to mask off something to paint. But these tapes can be used in building also. That's down the line for you newer people, but this blue tape can also be used as that. So, you know, it's tapes are tapes. You got to have them. You just go out there and you kind of do your thing. So, we've done the top 10. We finally did it. Now, I know there's a lot of other guys out there that are experts like us that goes, well, that's not the right 10. That's not what. Well, I challenge them to do the same thing.
This was our top 10 things that we could think of that a new modeler would need to get set up.
Now, I'm going to give them a number 11 just to give them
an honorable mention.
Get you a cordless screw gun,
a drill,
and a set of bits.
You'll use them all the time if you don't have a set.
And get you one of these bits that's in a round case like this and put them back in there and you'll never lose them.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we had a good top 10. I really believe that it will help the person that's watching this.
Right. And guys, we know that if you've been flying for 20 years and you know everything there is to know about RC, sure, this isn't for you. This is for the guys that are just starting. We want to help them out. Never forget where you came from. It was always nice to have somebody to help show you this. And some of these guys don't understand that guys that are doing this brand new are out in the middle of nowhere and they don't have somebody to go play with and learn. So we're trying to be that guy for you to learn from. So, I hope you find this very helpful. Like I said, we're going to link as much of these products in the description as we can for you to be able to go and get them.
You don't have to guess where to go get them.
Right.
You can click on that link down there and it'll bring you right straight to the place to go get those things. And most of the time it's going to be the top
manufacturers that we recommend. Right. You know, we work personally with Horizon Hobby, BitGo Hobby, Buddy RC are some of our main affiliates that we work with. There's a lot of great places to buy model airplanes now. In better news, you couldn't have picked a better time to be coming into model aviation, because it's never been easier to pull one out of the box and go fly than it is now.
Never been.
And you've never had the selection that you've had as you do now. I mean, you can have anything you want. You can have a trainer jet. You can have a real trainer that this airplane right here, if you're looking for your first trainer, the Apprentice is kind of the go-to for our club personally, and for everybody I've ever talked to, the Apprentice was the airplane. Now, there's a lot of different ones out there. We're going to be reviewing these here on the channel over the coming weeks, but it has always been, everybody's always told me the Apprentice.
Look, we have a thing called Safe today.
Right.
This almost is your buddy. If you don't have a buddy that's experienced, it's almost your buddy to help you make a successful flight. I mean, that is the most amazing thing. The other thing I wanted to say to most of you new people, I know every one of you want to fly a P-51. Don't
start with that.
Be patient. Go through a real pilot don't start with a P-51. Why would you think you can?
Right.
But you will get there with time.
Now, there are still trainer airplanes that look cool.
Now look at this.
This is a trainer.
That is a trainer.
So anyway, what we're going to do is let you guys go for this week. Please like, share, subscribe as always. Check out our affiliate links down in the description of this video. If you're interested in any of these models that you see around us, they are all available there. And we're going to let you go and get you in the next episode, guys.
Yeah.
So
thank you for coming by the Merry Boozers channel. We really appreciate you coming, and we love what we're doing.
Yep. Get out and fly with your friends or your dad if he's around, and we'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.
Bye. I hope I'm right. First we did the AMA, second we did the flight box, third we did the Ernst stand, fourth we did, what did we do fourth? Battery charger. Right?
Yep.
5 we did the battery checker, servo checker.
Yes.
6 we're doing the E-flite, whatever you call that thing. What is that?
I haven't been making fun of you where Lori's going to have fun with this.
Okay. Okay, all right.